Good evening and welcome to the first video in my budget model railway series, and this is on how to build a model railway layout for less than £50 is what the title is. In fact, it's a lot less than 50. I've built this out of second-hand materials and it's cost me £35. To put that into comparison, and I'm going to talk you through this in a minute, I've just had a quick look online, and making it new would be between £150 and £200. I'm not sure how many people want to build railways cheaply. When I read Railway Modeller and things, and there's people throwing hundreds if not thousands of pounds at layouts, but I'm kind of assuming that there are some people out there like me that didn't want to. And I think this is quite a small layout. This is a nice little shunting layout. It works well. Excuse me, it's only 5 foot by 9 inches. And I think having to pay £200 for what is really a very modest little layout seems quite a lot. So let's have a quick talk you through how I actually did this, as I say, for £35. Now I know I've still got to ballast the track and do a little bit of detail, but primarily this is as we are. So as I said, let's talk you through some of these items. First off, the platforms. You can see from here that these are made from 12mm corrugated cardboard. This was free. This literally came out of a skip. My neighbours had a kitchen delivered and this was what the kitchen was packaged in. Not only is it a lot cheaper than buying kit built platforms, it's considerably quicker because it's already the right depth. The top of the platforms, which I'm really pleased with, you probably can't see in the video, but it's got a tarmac finish. It's actually got, if we listen, a rough finish just like tarmac. That is wet and dry paper from Poundland that happened to be black. I didn't even need to paint it. And a pack of about a dozen sheets is £1. So that's that. So those platforms, there's less than a sheet of brick paper there. And I managed to pick up some second-hand papers for 50p a pack. Usually you can get them for about £1 a pack. New, they're £3 to £5 a pack. So those platforms have cost me perhaps £2. The cheapest kit is getting on for £10. And you know, that's probably then going to build that. While we're at this end, you can see the baseboard. Now this has been built on a piece of 9-inch by 5 foot melamine. This came out of a skip from the shop where my wife works, was being refitted, and this came out of a skip. If you had to buy it new, they're about £7 or £8. The backboards are old MDF flooring. Again, that came out of a skip. It's going to cost you a few pounds to buy from a timber merchant. I reckon about £10 to build the baseboard, and I basically built it for free. The station there, I got the station, the engine shed, from a big box of super quick buildings on eBay. They effectively cost me about £1 each. We'll get down to the goods shed in a minute. I've converted this. I had some bits of old terraced houses and I've added to the station, but I still don't reckon it's cost me more than about £1.50. The actual kit to make that is £7, and if you want the nice Metcalf one, that's £17. We then moved down a little bit and we've got an engine shed here. Some of you will have seen possibly my article in Traction magazine. That's been scratch built from corrugated cardboard that you can buy from pound shops for packaging. Great big roll like this. Can't do it, but great big thick roll for £1. So far I've made over 20 buildings out of one roll. So that's cost me about 20p, bit of brick paper. Again, the cheapest Daypole engine shed is £8. The Metcalf engine shed, single engine shed, is £16. So that's a huge saving. I haven't done a price comparison on this little building. I got it for 50p. It's actually from a Metcalf kit of something else, Sandhouse, I think. I've added a little office to the end of it. And again, show it all in, that's it. Again, that's cost me pence. So if we move down here a little bit, you can see the retaining wall, the brick retaining wall. These again, all built from brick papers, 50p a pack, between £3 and £5 to buy. So big saving there. The little signal box, I paid £1 for. They came with the railway modeler, which is £3 or £4. Even the cheapest day pulse signal box is about £6. The goods shed, I actually effectively built for free. I got the remains of it in a box of stuff. Didn't pay anything for it. Spent quite a bit of time putting a roof on and a new office. But again, I could easily have built that out of brick papers and a bit of cardboard, and would again have cost me about £1. So I'm quite pleased with that. I am building a few loading bays. That's just there for effect. That's a bit of an old Dapol one, but I'll use the cardboard. Some of the biggest savings is I want a nice little crane to go on my goods yard. Okay. The cranes are ridiculously expensive. The plastic kit is £5. The metal kits are 15. I paid 20p for the remains of that crane. All it needs is a cogwheel and a bit of work. I paid £1 for that, and actually that's intact. It just needs being putting back together. I will just say a big push here for a guy called Richard at Classic Rail in Ticehurst. Absolute little gem. You go in there and he's got big boxes of all sorts of things from railways. Wonderful. The little fueling point there, again, it's cost me nothing. It's a 20p cylinder from a shop from Richard. A bit of cardboard and brick paper for the base. Bit of cardboard and paint and wire to make the fueling station. Right, so we've seen a big saving there on buildings. There's something like £50 or £60 worth of buildings on the layout alone if you buy them new. And to be fair, they don't take long to build. A lot of people probably think they can't build them, but I'll be doing some videos on how to build these buildings because they are actually remarkably simple. So the next really big saving is the track work. Cheapest Hornby point is £8. These points cost me between £2.50 and £3. They're Lima manual points. I've used Lima manual because the layout's 9 inches wide. Do I really need to go to all the expense of putting point motors? I can just lean across and do that. There are 2 Mohano points here as well. Again, manual ones. And these big point boxes, that one's going to be hidden by a platform. That one's going to be hidden by a platform. And these will just lose in with a bit of ballast. As I say, they cost me about £2.50 each. New points are £8. So that's a huge saving because I've spent about £20 on points and there's getting on for £70 worth of new points there. If you have a little look over the back, just to show you the usefulness of the layout, there's a little 2-road fiddle yard in there. Go that way so we can see the 2. That's it. So that enables me to run a fiddle yard off the back. On here I've also got 3 switches. These were 50p each. Again, you pay about £2 or £3 each for them. That's to isolate a track here. If you do a nice wide shot, this is isolated and this is isolated. The only problem with these points, they're not like the Hornby Insel Frog that as you switch the track it switches the power. They're all live. However, that does mean it's relatively simple to operate. I've simply put isolators in. Couldn't believe how simple that is to work actually. You wire them up, flick a switch, and that isolates those 2 pieces of track. The other big saving, I've got a fabulous old Hornby controller there. It's quite a nice powerful one. It's great for shunting because it's forward and backwards. £5 including postage on eBay. The cheapest new controller is £20. So that's a big saving. If we can do just a bit of a long shot now of the layout. To give you some idea of this layout, the reason I've crammed so much in is to make it operationally interesting. I can run a loco in, it can shunt goods wagons into the goods yard, and then in the goods yard there's the actual goods shed and a storage road. So I can run in 3 or 4 wagons, couple in there, couple in there. I can also run a couple onto here. If I want to run passenger trains, I can run the loco in, leave the coach there, run round my coach and reverse the coach either into the main platform or the bay platform and then pull it out. And obviously I can store a loco in there. In fact, if I use a diesel rail bus, and I've got several that I've scratch built, I can leave a diesel rail bus in there, I can leave a loco in there, and I can leave a second loco in here ready to go. And if I want, therefore, I could have 4 locos on here. If we get time, I'll show you some film, but I've managed to get quite big 00 class 24, class 25 locos on this. You don't have to use little shunting locos. I'm going to use one big loco and a little shunter to operate it. So there we go. I think when that's finished, that will be a really nice little layout, and in all honesty it would cost me not more than £35–40 as opposed to £150–200. And what we'll do is I'll try and do some more videos as we go along. Can I just say, I don't know if this is a subject people are interested in. If you are interested in model railwaying on a budget, please like, please subscribe, please comment, please send me your thoughts, because I'd love to know. And that's it for now. Thank you very much.